Checking 1, 2, 3. Looks like my microphone is coming in, and so is the slightly slower desktop audio. Alright. Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Mac. This is Final Fantasy Dawntrail. In the last episode, we bust our way through the... Oh no. Okay, page down lets me zoom out. Yeah. We've broken our way through the enemy fortifications, and now we're in this place. I don't know what I was expecting, but it certainly wasn't this. Things just keep getting stranger and stranger. There was no sensation of passing into a different world. This couldn't be a reflection, could it? This is Yao Sulani? Erenville looks upon Yao Sulani in disbelief. It doesn't make sense. That tower, was it always there? No, definitely not. No, the wall over there. The material's not something we use in Toral. It's close to what we saw at the gate to the Golden City, or those mechanical soldiers. Such a massive structure couldn't possibly have been built in so short a time. Then I'm inclined to assume we've been transported to another location. Or perhaps... Well, speculation will avail us naught. We need to learn more before we can draw conclusions. Let's take a look around then. Make sure to keep using that ethereal compass so we don't have to come back on another stream. Actually, let's turn off mounted music so we can listen to the new zone. Well, we are going northwest at least. Scram! Rotten defective turret. Directly north, huh? So it's not that little ledge over there. It'll come into view any second now. There. Oh, did we miss someone because we missed someone because we used the shortcut? Whoops. Well, at least there doesn't seem to be any aether currents nearby, so we can focus on questing. And meanwhile, we see just some botanist fly into this area that no one has ever been in before. This place is unnatural in a way I've never seen before. Haven't seen anyone so far. I recognize the lay of the land. It's definitely Sulani, and yet... This place is isolated by the dome, yet the skies are heavy with thunderclouds. The air oversaturated with lightning-aspected ether. That looks like a train station, doesn't it? That must be Yasulani station, where the passengers disembarked. Then perhaps we'll find someone to talk to there. Let's go and investigate. Back to the planet, huh? Oh, but I wanted to try and get a... I wanted to try out a fate where I actually get to use all my abilities, but I don't get to use all my abilities. Because everything died before I got a chance to really get involved. I at least got gold rank for it. We got 1 point in heritage found, and that's it. I really don't do any fates with this character. Amidst the enormous alien structures, we have more familiar sights like the station. This is a water tower for trains, isn't it? It looks very poorly maintained. Oh wait, Aetheryte, we need to take that, and apparently someone else is also going through this for the first time. It's fallen into total disrepair, almost as if it hasn't been used in decades. This Aetheryte is of Turali design. Didn't have much more to say outside of that. I'm pretty sure this is Yasulani station. For the state of it, I'd swear it was abandoned years ago. I'm not sure what to make of this. We should look around a bit more. The key word here is rusty. You find a train turntable. The thick layers of rust suggest it hasn't been used in years. Tracks are heavily rusted. It would seem they haven't been tended to for a long while. I think this thing is broken. Well, it didn't try to kill you, so I guess you'd probably be right. The building is a rotting husk. It has clearly been many years since anyone lived here. Finished poking around, have you? Let's gather everyone. I want you all to take a look at this. It's one of the mechanical soldiers. Long since broken, apparently. But I'd say its presence confirms this is indeed Zorja's domain we're in. What about the rest of you? Did you learn anything? So all evidence suggests this is Yasulani station. and I've no doubt we're in Luni, but I don't understand why these buildings are so run down. They were completely bare a year ago. For new structures to deteriorate and enormous ones to appear in a flash, if I didn't know better, I'd say time flows differently here. Why do you think you know better? Why do you think time can't flow differently here? Is such a thing even possible? We have encountered this phenomenon before, as it happens. Though it may be difficult to believe, our world is but one of several. In some respects they are similar to one another, but in others wholly different. We call them reflections. Simply put, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at different pace in each world. While hours pass in one, years may have come and gone in another. But if this is Sulani, then we should still be in the source. The flow of time should be synchronized. I'm not sure I follow all this talk of reflections and dimensions. But if Erenville says this is Sulani, it must be. Your village is a little further along, right? Erenville! Oh, yes, it's a short distance to the northwest. Let's head there next then. Rather than talk theory, it's always better to confirm things firsthand. May I be of assistance? It's still functioning? It doesn't seem to be hostile, at least. Perhaps we can ask it some questions. Can you tell us where we are? Unable to confirm credentials. Bzz. Please present citizen identification. Unable to confirm credentials. Bzz. Confirm. Bzz. Confirm. Bzz. Confirm. Bzz. Seems it's broken after all. Too strange by half. Let's leave it be and get going. And then it turns to glare at us as we walk away because it's not broken at all, it's just faking. Are those lightning rods? Would you accompany me for a moment? There's something I wish to investigate. That one is down, unfortunately. Seems like such a waste to have those railways and then none of the people here actually use them. Look there, the lightning appears to be drawn to those pole-shaped structures over yonder. The design suggests there's some manner of lightning rod. Let's go and take a closer look. There's a Quahiola. It's not a normal name. Stop making me say these things. This material appears to be the same as that used in the mechanical soldiers and warships. On closer inspection, it appears to bear fine etchings. Rather reminiscent of arcane runes, these I suspect are not merely decorative. I would posit it's used to harness lightning as a source of energy. Quite impressive technology. I'll share this observation with Ishtola. For a blessing, the dome doesn't appear to interfere with link pearls. Thanks for accompanying me. Let's head to the village and find the others. Sure makes you wish that you could have made the same use out of an overbearing light ether as these people do with lightning ether. But Sin Eaters are all about stagnation, really. Oh, Erenville. Let's stay vigilant. This is Erenville's village? No sign of anyone. What in the world? Another watchdog. Or watch robot, I guess.
My home. It's in ruins. But why? What happened here? And where is everyone?
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
Excuse me? Are you looking for someone? I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows. Sorolcha has told me a great deal about you.
Sorolcha?
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria.
It's a shame that my Final Fantasy IX Let's Play didn't really go that far, because I'm sure that there'd be a lot of things that I'd be pointing at and going, ooh, I recognize that!
I am Sphene, the Queen of Reason.
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps a...
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Zorulja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Then you're both behind the attack on Tulishola.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception.
No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight.
And, let's see. Delete message. Huh, I deleted the message and they're already gone.
Zorulja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I. It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
Our aid? I'll admit I cannot imagine King Zorolja is keen to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the Queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria. Until one day, he appeared, bent on conquest. In my weakness, I feared his power. So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain. I would remain queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions. A gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people...
Darn it, I skipped her last line. I'm not good. Even when the text is right there in front of me, I have a tendency to skip lines.
If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yasolani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know!
I realize how confusing this all must be. Truth be told, I don't fully understand it myself. What I can say is that one day, people from your Tuliolol suddenly appeared here in Alexandria. Or perhaps it was we who found ourselves in Tuliolol. Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barrier surrounding our realm.
Does this not remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the first.
No, it doesn't remind me. You did all that alone, remember, Knucklehead?
Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed what has happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience. Sudden and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dared hope. In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the outskirts. A number of the Shatona live there as well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking into a trap.
But if we're to defeat Zorolja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
You're right.
We can kill her later if we have to.
Queen Sphene, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tuliolol?
Noble Wook Lamart, shall we dispense with the formalities?
That isn't answering her question.
I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zorolja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolol.
So he alone is to blame.
No, I may not have prosecuted this war, but I nevertheless bear responsibility for it.
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you. let alone what you've been through.
And there's Wuklamart's open-minded nature at work.
So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
This is just a bonus round to her secret trial, isn't it?
Wonderful. If you would follow me.
We're still on the road to the Golden City even after all this time. Isn't it a little odd for the Queen to be walking around on her lonesome?
Is that concern or suspicion? If things should take a turn for the worse, might I call upon your aid? I jest, of course, but you do strike me as the most capable here.
Not really, I just whack things with a gunblade and they explode. I think it goes without saying, but we're not going to trust her just like that, right? Any way you look at it, a mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere, proclaiming herself a queen, is suspicious. That's why she gave us some hot chocolate. The 8th Umbral Calamity has been added to the Codex, huh? The source has been visited by 7 cataclysmic events known as Umbral Calamities. The first of these was a calamity of wind, followed by calamities of lightning, fire, earth, ice, water, and finally the calamity of darkness. While these disasters may seem logical consequences of conflict or natural phenomena, they could not, in truth, have occurred without massive disruption of the ethereal equilibrium of a reflection world. When a reflection's balance shifts drastically toward a single aspect, the heightened elemental energies seep into the source, much as water flows from higher to lower ground. An influx of fire-aspected ether might cause extended droughts, for example, while ice could result in a widespread drop in temperature. These anomalies became increasingly common until a great catastrophe breaks down the barrier between the two worlds. In that moment, all the ether which comprises the reflection floods into the source, and catastrophe swells into a full-fledged Umbral Calamity. Though it did not take place within our present timeline, the 8th Umbral Calamity's origin can be traced back to the 1st, where the power of light was ascendant. Even as luminous excess bled into the source, the Garlean Empire launched its Black Rose upon the battlefield, and the deadly gas, itself a weapon of light-based nature, was amplified far beyond its expected potency. It spread over a vast area, halting the circulation of ether and killing every living being which came into contact. The ether currents themselves were stilled, and repercussions of this stagnation rippled throughout the environment. The Alliance leaders and scions who had gathered to fight the Imperial armies were slain where they stood. Thus began an age of unending war. Order broke down, violence ran rampant, and all fought in the savage battle for survival. In the midst of civilization's collapse, it was Cid and Garland Ironworks stalwarts who led the development of an ambitious and far-reaching plan. Founded upon knowledge they had gleaned in preceding years, the group sets out to create a reality in which the 8th Umbral Calamity never happened, to build a past in which the calamity was prevented and ensure that fallen heroes survived into the future. The engineers and their collaborators toiled for generations, devoting their lives and the lives of their descendants to bring this mad scheme to fruition. Finally, after decades of preparation, they succeeded in transporting the reawoken Crystal Tower backwards through the years and into the world of the First. Many adventures and misadventures later, darkness was restored to the alien affliction and the 8th Umbral Calamity was averted. None who live today bore witness to that tragedy, nor the great effort which went into making this miracle possible. None will ever know who their saviors were, nor the thoughts and fears which drove them. None will ever know if their bleak future was erased by the changing of history, or if it endures in a fork in time's eternal river. Here and now, their hopes for the future are evident only in the continued survival of those who gave everything to save. What was the order again? Lightning, fire, earth, ice, water, then darkness. Ice is the important one because that's going to tie into the upcoming... expansion. Alizé is inclined to keep a close eye on the Queen. A royal welcome! Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use more information. So let's head to this place at the outskirts and see what we can learn, perhaps about XIV as well. Well, we're already at half an hour in. This is usually where I'd be winding down an episode. Streaming is a very different beast. It's a shame Snow the First isn't here because I could point out that XIV is Wukelamart's most popular ship, and it's not going to be by a small amount. I see her all the time on Tumblr and Reddit. Well, ship art for that on Tumblr and Reddit. A most unusual farm, but the produce appears normal enough. It's a relief to see the people here are well, at least. The innovations of Alexandria are nothing short of extraordinary. Those brick buildings, I've seen those like before, though I cannot remember where. Have you ever seen such strange contraptions? I wonder what this one is used for. It's very clearly for irrigation, Wukelamart. I trust you have familiar farming facilities in Tural? They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what all those machines do. We settled on this method after some trial and error. The Turali have their own methods of farming, which they wanted to continue employing. But the environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough light. Thankfully, the use of electrope has allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature cannot. Electro what? Electrope! It's a material we use for myriad devices and applications. A topic for another time, perhaps. If you would follow me, we're nearly to the outskirts. Oh, I forgot to use the compass. Right, we've got to go to the south. Uh-oh. Oh no. This one might take a bit of doing, it looks. Oh dear. Okay, cycling back around. I really should take my miner on a run around Carlo, my miner. I should take him on a run around Tuliolo and see what new materials he can pick up. Myrmelian. Right, they're the Myrmidons, the giant ants. Directly to the west, that's on the other side of the chasm, isn't it? Yeah, 382 looks a bit too far that way, so we can go back to work. It definitely doesn't feel like something you'd see in a standard Final Fantasy. Well, okay, maybe I say standard and I mean the old style Final Fantasies, because they're very fond of having sort of sci-fi techno settings since Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, you don't get normal fantasies, you get sci-fi. Urban. They tried with Final Fantasy X and it just wasn't popular, so they went and locked in. No, Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy X is Titus. I think. Oh dear, did I say 10 when I meant 9? Way back when Sphene first appeared?
Here we are. Though you'll doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria strange, the traditional agriculture practiced in this village at least should be familiar.
This is what I mean. Just listen to this music for a bit. That sounds straight out of the game.
Queen Sphene? What business brings her here, I wonder?
The Queen has come!
You look well, Paquine. And Catogne, I see you've already taken to your new position.
When she introduced herself as queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Namachi.
Me?
It's only natural for a ruler to love her people. And I should like to know them as best I can, even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put. And it would appear that she is well loved in turn.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliola's vow of resolve, Wuk-Lamat, and her companions. They come from beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
The rumors of a link to the outside are true, then. Wuk-Lamat is still so young. Where are my manners? I am Popone, a leader of sorts of the people living out here.
Papone? That is a Tonawautan ring to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa?
Kafkiwa? I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yasolani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
You know my mother?
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well, I remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
You needn't push yourself, Pepone. After 30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago. Which is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoralja's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
I believed you long dead. To have the chance to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
Years. Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
It's not unlike how time passes differently in the First and the Source. The fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence.
Right up until you get some sort of anchor between them which forces them into step. Although I think on the first he just said it'll only be for a little while they pass close together. Eventually they'll drift apart and go back to speeding up. That said, with Evercold, it wouldn't surprise me if we're going to be seeing some major changes in the first soon.
Perhaps the same holds true here, and time flowed faster within the dome.
Meaning this is a piece of another reflection.
I cannot say for certain, but I strongly suspect that to be the case. And based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the Source's temporal flow.
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information. Sveen, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
There's something about how she puts her hands together and bows forward a little bit that stands out to me. I'm not entirely sure why.
Time to see what we can see of Alexandria, then.
It's an odd gesture.
And its people. I may yet find familiar faces among the survivors from Yasolani.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zoralja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living. Though we have always prided ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods, the use of electro-fueled technologies has led to countless agricultural innovations.
I would join you as well.
Ma'am, please. You needn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble at all. And I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
Wait, what did she say? I promise not to cause any manner of distraction. I don't believe you, is what his response is.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care. Now then, if you two would follow me, we can begin the tour.
I can't say that I trust her yet, but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine. And that's enough for me.
Touring farmlands with the queen of another nation is not exactly how I expected to spend my day. You say that now, but give it another day and you'll probably be planning the wedding. Electrop has done so much to improve the efficiency of their farming, but it hasn't replaced everything. The people wanted to preserve their old way of life, and we did not want to force ours upon them. You went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue, for the Turali tongue is surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Of course, there are words and phrases for which there is no equivalent, but those can be taught with minimal effort. Through mutual respect, understanding and patience, we Alexandrians and Turali have learned a great deal from one another. And I'm sure there's much you wish to learn as well, so please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. So, I'm going to just remind us about something. If we go all the way back to Heaven's Ward's raids, Alexander, burden of the Father, burden of the Son, soul of the Creator. It's suggested in the Omega raids that things that are actually happening in other reflections end up being stories. So we have, hang on, get out of the Heaven's Ward stuff. No, not Stormblood, please. So we have things like Helicanas, the antagonist from a visual novel, X-Death, Chardnook, we have Kafka for some reason. But we have all these stories that would later... It's possible that what was going on with Alexandria here had some influence on what happened with Alexander. Right, get the giant crystal. Of course, that might just be me rambling. What else can I do? It's my job. And my hobby, I enjoy it. As luck would have it, the Reforgers have brought in a variety of wares. If you have any bi-colored gemstones, I would be happy to trade with you. Sphene is eager to show you around, a day in the life. She'll give us some tart Turali tarts for our trouble. Rather than bore you with lengthy explanations, let us head back to the farm we passed earlier. Your Yoop's Halo, it's called, or Yoop's Halo. We can speak with one of the farmers when we arrive. One of my friends was just assigned the whole role of hunter. I guess we're off to Yoop's Halo. So then, if there is actually nothing stopping us from venturing into this area and getting every ether current the moment we arrive here, it'll just be kind of a waste of time because eventually the main story is going to send us into that area anyway. Allow me to show you to Mawusa, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in a variety of farming techniques. Indeed, the wealth of knowledge she has shared with the other farmers is what allowed this place to flourish. XIV, what do I owe this shout of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more of Alexandria, and so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's alright. So the rumors of visitors from the outside were true. What matter of hosts would be to deny them a look around, and I gather your majesty also intends to check on things here? You know me so well, Mahuswa. I thought to seize this opportunity to see how the farmers fare, and perhaps pepper them with questions. Though I do enjoy observing and taking part in the work too. Well, that's a blatant lie, isn't it? In that outfit? It would appear we have her permission, so please, walk the grounds to your heart's content. You go on ahead, I'll keep Sveen company. Don't misunderstand, I'm not a suspicious type. But given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? A fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. I shall remain under Wukmart's watchful eye. Pray, come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. I shall remain under Wukmart's watchful eye. Pray, come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. Did I read the same line twice? Apparently I did. I might be slipping on my ability to read today. Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source... Huh? You wish to know about my job? I tend to the fields, watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. It admittedly took some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work. Honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much about anything of farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. This actually reminds me a bit, and I'm only realizing this now, it reminds me a bit of Star Wars The Old Republic. It was after I mostly gave up on playing the game and I would only tune in every now and then, but there's one specific planet which has a bunch of farm areas, and you can clearly see that they're using high-tech stuff to keep everything in check. It reminds me a bit of that. Ah, an unfamiliar face. I gather that this is your first time on the site then. Well, this is the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious and equipped with temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even got a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complain about Alexandrian technology and electro complicate our lives, but it's just a matter of learning how things work. Take my job for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to the tower for processing and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. Oh man, underground. Oh. I cannot remember the name of the town, but there's a town in Australia that was built basically out of mining for opals. And because of that, I think they build the majority of their houses into the ground in old mine shafts. Because if you're gonna dig out the house, if you're already gonna dig out the ground anyway, you might as well put some residency in there, right? Of course, the downside, I don't know the specifics of how it works, I just know that there is a town like that. And I imagine it's got to be pretty complicated to get all the plumbing installed without tearing out more of the wall. You're saying you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier, that true? So it is, which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. But setting that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at Yoop's Halo, we produce not only fruit and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Hence the dodos. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. It's a shame Koana's not here to see all these bizarre contraptions. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would be hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gather you've had your fill of speaking to them with the farmers. Then let us return to Mahusa. Mahusa? Yeah, I think Mahusa because W is before the S, not after. Well, what are your impressions of the farm? I was amazed that everyone loves their work. A curious observation, do you not love your own work? Oh, but I jest. It's true that the people of the outskirts seem the most fulfilled. Always, they take to their duties with good cheer. And what did you think of our little tour, Lamachi? What did I say? They spend one scene off on their own and she's already using the pet name. What did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies, I heard the others call you by that name and I thought... No, it's fine. It's as you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed. That machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. The feeling is understandable. Indeed, many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. Put simply, it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have been charged up with the energy and they're releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system would return to normal if the creatures were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg of it of the army. She already knows what we're gonna do. We could take care of it if you like. That is most gracious of you to offer, but it's much too dangerous. Oh, it's no trouble for the vow of resolve until the hollow. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if people are in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And Ibuki is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. Then very well, I gratefully accept. But please take all care. This ought to go even faster if you and I search for lightning charge fiends on our own. Good hunting! At least she isn't making a competition of it, because if it was Alizé, you know that it would be a make sure you hunt more people, hunt down more monsters than Alizé, because Alizé is darling, but also way too competitive for her own good, and probably for my good as well. He exploded! Oh yeah, that would probably be a nasty electric creature to get into your water supply. Oh. Even though it looks like there's big gaps below that bridge, there isn't. Drive around. You know, this car actually does look kind of like it would fit right in as an Alexandrian mount. Wow, you really are strong. Ah, you're both alright, thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Of course I was worried, you're my dear guests. But thank you, we truly appreciate this. Indeed, with this, we won't have to ask Zorojar's machines for help. He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Sphene. If that's enough, Mahua-san. If you have grievances, I will hear them later, but to speak of the king now... No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting me pass tour from the farm. The folk here are delightful. It was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never fail to let us know much how you care. Of course, you're my precious family, all of you. You seem a good sort, Sphene, that I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives. and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Stop giving us the dead-eye glare. Now, I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? My apologies for laughing earlier. Your friend painted an image so far removed from the scene, you know, I couldn't help myself. So shy, you bastard. Sphene would take you back to the outskirts. Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. My thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come visit us at any time. There's so much of Alexandria I would love to show you. Do you hear that?
What's happening over there?
It's nearly time.
I'm glad you could make it.
Are you with us?
Queen Sphene has come to see you.
We're here, Namika. Everything is going to be all right. What's the matter, dear?
It can't be. That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
And it's been 30 years, and she was already very old when she left off.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namika, it's me! Wuklamat!
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Has she no more soul cells?
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end. Be not afraid. Your memory will live on, in us.
Living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
Let us give them some time alone.
It's okay for Ibuki because she's a blank slate. Oh wait, no. We're leaving too.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
With what we can be reasonably certain of, perhaps. Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a Void Gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression. The Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken. If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm. The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's noxious influence.
I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
In other words, Sven's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
But of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder. Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs.
Sounds like somewhere we can spend all of our tomestones.
Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zoralja resides.
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zoralja do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Zoralja's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course. Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
I am afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
In the next 40 minutes, can we make it into Solution 9? Find out next time.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep anyway. Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namika these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
Namika? I'm sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it isn't funny.
I don't mean to give offense, but I honestly have no idea who you are talking about.
How can you not know who she is? You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud. Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
We'll see how it is with other people. This is very unsettling. As far as I could tell, Per Poan had generally had no recollection of Namika. I've never heard of anything like this before. What's going on? How could Pepperwayne suddenly forget about Namika? It's as if he never knew her. Could the same thing have happened to the others as well, I wonder? There's only one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the Aetheryte. There was a key phrase used in the description of the Golden City by the giants, that one hostile giant that decided I'll tell you about it because I owe you that deal. And it puts a rather grim take on this whole situation. It's not nearly as nice a place as you'd think. An old woman named Namika? I'm afraid I don't know that person. I'm sorry I couldn't be of help. I do recall caring for someone like that until recently. You say it was a woman named Namika, but I can't say for certain if it was her. I wouldn't worry, I'm sure she's just been taken up to the cloud. How fares your new Everkeep assignment? Isn't he going to respond? I guess he's just standing there letting her quiz him. What's that? Do I know Namika? Never met anyone by that name, and I've worked at the outskirts for a good while now. If she spent time here, I would remember. Waiting. So, it was the same for everyone. Not a single person remembers Namika. It's as if the memory of her has been purged from their minds. Well, such a thing might be done with magic. To alter memories of so many at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We would have felt a surge of ether corresponding to the act too, and I sensed none in that moment. Neither did I, but I did notice something else. Right before Pepperwayne seemingly forgot, the light in his device, the device on his head, began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells. But who might we ask about this? If we continue to make such inquiries, I expect we would only cause confusion. Indeed! If we can't readily solve the mystery about Namika, perhaps we could search for Kakwika instead? Sven said to try the Thunder Yards. It should be in this direction. Impossible! Another kind of mechanical soldier? It looks dangerous. We'd better destroy it. Ah! Should we give chase? I think it understood our words. It might be worth asking it some questions. Erinville, are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing. I'm fine. Did I just see a magpie hop past the table? If I... Oh, yeah, I did actually. Huh. I'm Australian. We have magpies. Well, it went off in the direction we're headed anyway, so let's try to track it down. Livestock aren't bothered at all by the lightning. On the other hand, people from Everkeep tend to be terrified by even the slightest rumbling of thunder. Nothing but birds over here. It's almost like you're standing in a bird farm or something. That voice, could it be? With how my scroll wheel has been busted recently, I've actually started learning all the keybinds for zoom out. There it is. You found it! To the northeast, and it must be bound for the mines. Come on then! It could well be a trap, so let's not rush in too quickly. Oh, now it starts raining. I suppose at least it's raining in-game and not out of game, because that would basically kill the stream. I hear faint voices coming from inside. So it's not alone, but we're still going in, of course. This may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone. I didn't talk to everyone on the way. Whoops. New minion, please. Nope. I don't like the wind-up little minions. I prefer the grubby little ones, but it never gives them to me. Oh. Sure, we can carry Midgard Soma on our shoulder. Ether current, make sure to grab that. It would appear no one has worked these tunnels in quite some time. I'm not worried, we've had to improvise countless times before, after all. A device made with electrode, it seems to be the only one here. This tunnel just keeps going. I can hear them, several people up ahead. I can't make out the conversation with the echoing. Let's keep going, stay on your guard. How could we be scared of this?
What is this?
Ironville!
A trap!
It really is you!
Huh?
Who?
I just have to get a look at you in the light. And I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Oblivion!
My darling, what now?
I guess they're not going to shoot us then.
Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
Fussy little bun bun?
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
Unidentified floating object.
I know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Galoo Jaja's kitten? I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. Ellen Espierre was always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope?
I can't say that I do, but you know my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
Kefkiwa is not how I would have pronounced that. And I have video evidence of it.
I'm sorry?
Oh, but this won't do. Come in! Friends of my Ellen Espierre are always welcome.
All I ask is a little forewarning, but no.
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place. How are things still getting stranger?
You think this is bad? You should see what happened when Mandeville was around. I can't say I understand what's going on, but at least Kefkiwa is safe. Heronville's mother is a floating machine. Right, that makes about as much sense as everything else thus far. At this point, I doubt anything could possibly surprise me. As long as you don't turn around. The Allegans had similar machines that could be controlled remotely. Is she using something similar to communicate with us? Oh, hello. Don't worry, I won't fight unless you want me to. As far as I can tell, this is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited. But as to what's happened, we'll need to ask her. On the cloud. Gone and forgotten. Erinville is conflicted by this long-fated reunion. Let's hear what she has to say. It's wonderful to meet you all. I'm the students of Baldesion. It's been a while since I heard that name. Dare I ask the reason for your appearance? Well, it's just a body I control remotely. I use this for our operations. We're members of a resistance organization. Oblivion we call ourselves. And our goal is to thwart Zorja's ambition for conquest. As the leader, it's prudent I remain where I can't be easily found. I see, whimsical appearances notwithstanding, yours is a serious cause. Right you are, though truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose. And that is? As I expect you've already noticed, everything you see within this dome, the building, the people, the very earth beneath our feet, is a fusion of two worlds. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. Then does that mean you know who or what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago, and our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. By the time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Zorja. But we failed to do that, and now he's taken his army outside the dome. He has an eye patch, so you know he sacrificed something in his attempts. None of you that wear those strange devices on your heads. Does that have something to do with your work? You mean this? It's a regulator, the pinnacle of electrobe technology. And that we don't wear one, it is indeed, and that we don't wear it is indeed related to our operations. What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Regulators have two primary functions. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life. Reserve? You mean people walk around carrying spare souls? They do. Souls are packaged in cells, and they can be used to replenish the life force that is lost due to sudden death, such as in accidents. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation, to encourage exemplary performance when fulfilling their duties. Souls as a common resource, and payment for services rendered. The void-sent practice of consuming others for their ether comes to mind. And similarly, I expect that the act comes with some risk. doesn't it dilute your sense of self? That is prevented through the memory management, a process in which the regulators also play a role. Memory management? Then the reason everyone has forgotten Namika's existence. It's really annoying to be midway through the stream, almost finished, and then someone starts a phone call and talks as loud as possible. The regulators are constantly recording the memories of the wearer, so if they should suddenly die, the memories can be refreshed as part of the restoration process. This is how they preserve one's identity and sense of self. However, the regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being is that regulators forcibly extract memories related to the deceased from anyone wearing them. Why would they do such a thing? It is a kindness bestowed upon the people of by Everkeep's core system so that no one has to suffer the pain of loss. So that is what is meant by their memories being in the cloud. Like he said, a golden city where no one knows the pain of loss. It doesn't mean immortality, it just means you straight up forget the dead. Indeed, all memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and archived in the system. It's a frightening function of the regulators and an integral step in soul cell production. Paul Heuer, generic Heuer number 25. We knew him well. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, their soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. It's then delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. The result is a fresh soul cell, free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system to be remembered forever. And this is why people are happy here? On its surface it's similar to Yokui philosophy, but I see nothing noble or comforting in it. Well, it doesn't seem so terrible to me personally. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, this system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. Amidst the mounting death toll, scientists used Electrope to devise a means to save what lives they could, so that the nation could endure. understand the people of Alexandria did what they believed was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe that Turali would also accept this way of living. It came as a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them, if they so wish. XIV didn't strike me as the sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so you've already met. She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wants us to help us stop Zorojah. Awfully kind of her to point you in my direction, and to speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motives, she has given the people a choice. Live with the risk of true death, or the security of the regulators. Everything that lives must someday die. That is the natural order of things. Quite right. But however you feel about them, it would be easy to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it for yourself. I know just the person to show you, and as luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now. Who are we going to see exactly? Come with me and you'll find out. Oh, we're approaching the time limit, but I'd really like to make it to Solution 9 before we get there. Firearms make the most sense for people who don't have combat training like us. That's why we salvage as many as we can from the mechanical soldiers and convert them for our use. I mean, it's no gunblade, but I suppose it works. Nostalgia is my twin sister. Like most people, we both used to wear regulators, but, well, let's just say a lot happened. Take care not to get struck by lightning out there. One fellow reckon you can dodge him by jumping back the instant there's a flash, but that's crazy if you ask me. It sounds like something out of Final Fantasy X, and no one likes that game. I say comedically, without any actual intent behind the thing, because I'm sure there are people that enjoy it. Heck, I actually finished it. But also, it is kinda a clunky game. Apparently Nintendo Capri-san actually made a Let's Play of that game, and I did watch some of it, but I didn't finish that LP. I just got a certain distance into it before I got bored. Sorry, Tim. Everyone here? Good. It is the responsibility of the Thunder Yards hunters to fell any fiends found wandering the area. We're to meet an acquaintance of mine, Streaker, one of these hunters. Well, they aren't doing a very good job. Earlier we had to hunt down fiends hanging about the waterways. Unless they fall under Zorojah's purview, which honestly wouldn't surprise me that much. He seems to have taken over all the military parts of the city and left the rest of it for XIV. What do you think is in this box? I'm guessing food. Ibuki turns away. There's a loud crunching noise. Nope, it's not food. Judging by its name, I take it this facility is for gathering lightning energy. Streaker will show you what life can be like wearing a regulator. Let's get this over with. Given the opportunity, I should very much like to study Electrope on behalf of the students. While I'm not blind to the potential benefits of these regulators, the risks inherent in giving another party the power to audio memories cannot be overstated. Never mind the ethical considerations of using souls in such a fashion. He's quite the philosophical innovator, isn't he? Queer, what are you doing here, and with so many friends? Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping they might observe you at work. Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on, I assumed they were wearing special regulators like Sven's crown. But they aren't wearing any at all. It's much too dangerous to be here without one. What if they're struck by lightning, or attacked by beasts? I can assure you, they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I will take full responsibility. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Dangerous side, there isn't really much to see. Kakuya said you're a hunter, but wouldn't it be easier for those mechanical soldiers to guard this place? It would, if not for the fact that they're weak to lightning. The Thunder Yard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Ibuki nudges Graha here. Psst! Pass that on to the others. They're weak to lightning. Bring all the black mages over from Uldar. Some good they are, eh? But these facilities are vital to the upkeeping of Alexandria's infrastructure, so it falls to hunters like me to deal with any fiends. Given the danger, we're well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone looking to build up savings. The special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either. I brought this lot to see this danger you speak of, if it's not too much trouble to ask. Ah, of course. In which case it'd be shame to waste my efforts on any old beast. You all can handle yourselves in a fight, right? If you cause a ruckus by slaying what critters you see nearby, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of a demonstration. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we should each slay what we can. I mean, after fighting... Oh boy, after fighting Ramah twice, I think I can handle a single lightning bolt to the head. And someone's beating up a defective sentry. I suppose that's why they're hanging around, because they're defective and they aren't getting the "stay away from the Thunder Yards, you idiot junk heap" signal. Oh, wait! You! Oh, that was fun. This one will do nicely. We'll help you. It's fine, really. I've faced worse. Just watch. I don't like the looks of it. Let us help. Oh no. Look out! Ah. Preserve. She needs healing. Why are we surprised by this? We should already know they can do this with those rotten regulators. That was embarrassing. The bastard caught me off guard. Are you mad? Seriously, let us help. I told you not to worry. This will only take a moment. Just like Zorulja. Come on, let's get out of here. That's also a function of the regulator? We're really close. We can't be much further from Solution 9, but we will be going over time. I say as though this isn't already massively over time. I think I understand now how Zorulja was able to return from the dead and defeat Papa. But I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became beast-like. Don't tell me. You empowered yourself with the soul of a beast. I'm reminded of the serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard who did the same. So you've crossed paths with one of the king's elite. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourselves on souls. We could do the same in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not as if they'd allow cunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care. And there you have it. Regulators can be loaded with two kinds of souls, those of peoples and those of beasts. The souls of people can be used to grant the user preternatural strength. Naturally, they can also be used to ensure no one suffers an untimely death. And what about the souls of beasts? They work in much the same fashion, imbuing with the strength of the chosen animal. If, for example, you use the soul of a wolf, you would grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Striker. Using several of the same type at once, however, would result in some physical changes. Your teeth may become fangs, your nails claws. Too many and you'll become more beast than man. Changing one's form through the souls of other beings, it becomes more and more reminiscent of Void Scent. Yet unlike the Void, where the cycle of death and rebirth is simply broken, souls here are forcibly taken before they reach the ethereal sea, different means to achieve similar ends. A cycle to which all those within the dome are bound. This is wrong. This is all wrong. It is indeed hard to accept being so far removed from our own beliefs. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. The civilizations and reflections are surprising indeed. Necessity is the mother of invention. Or is it innovation? Either way, they have to put up with the reflections we've all visited have been suffering heavy umbral calamities. Well, disasters to force them to umbral calamities. Those that remain would have to be incredibly smart. I've never seen it for myself, but it's said that if a beast soul is potent enough, a single soul is enough to induce a monstrous transformation. Sphene speaks of lived experiences, suggests that she's far older than she appears. Considering the power of these regulators, perhaps it's not so far-fetched. I understand this is part of their culture, but it is no less disconcerting. Having seen the beauty of the ethereal sea firsthand, I simply can't accept what they've done here in Alexandria. When Emixel spoke of surprising reflecting civilizations and other reflections, I wonder if he had Alexandria in mind. While we all have our thoughts on souls, for now the important thing is that we know what power Zorja has at his disposal. It is one thing to separate corporeal ether from incorporeal ether, but to strip memories from the soul entirely is an unprecedented technology. This is no longer Tuliolo's concern. With his newfound power, Zorja has become a threat to the entire world. Indeed, he has to be stopped, no matter the cost. Like I said, just let Ishtola know. Lightning Ether, get in the Thunder Mages. Oh, we added Zero and Souls to the Unending Codex. Cool. Embracing Oblivion. I would say maybe 1 or 2 quests more and then we wrap up the stream. I trust you've gained an insight into the use of souls in Alexandria. It's shocking, I know. I was overwhelmed myself at first. I expect you'll need some time to digest it all, but for now let's head back to Earth and Sky. At this rate, there's something I want to discuss with everyone. Let's take a moment before we head into the tunnel. Oh, I forgot to use an ether compass. East. Easter. Northeastern. Oh! Oh, that's the thing that killed Striker. She got better. There it is. Ether current identified, grab it now. I have to wonder, maybe I should make a custom thumbnail for today's episode. Which of course raises the question, exactly what scene should I use? Because on one hand, I want something nice and eye-catching, but on the other hand, we don't want too much spoilers. Maybe I'll do a quick skim through the video to try and figure it out. Southeast, huh? So somewhere in this territory. I might head over to Yasunai Station for that. I'm sorry for delaying us, but I have some thoughts I need to share. Both technology and values. It's plain there's a wide gulf between Tuliolo and Alexandria. And while Zorojah knows everything about us, we know hardly anything about what he's become. Indeed, we haven't even seen what lies within that enormous tower Everkeep. So here, I'd like to make a proposal. That is, we work with Kathquia and her people. We need to learn as much as we can about the enemy. The quickest way would be to join hands with Oblivion. We've only just met them, I know. We shouldn't be too quick to trust. But the fact remains they share our desire to stop Zorojah. Sphene too claims to be at odds with the King of Resolve. May I ask why you would cooperate with Oblivion instead? It's simple really. Their leader is Erenville's mother. Meanwhile, whatever Sphene may feel, she's a ruler of this nation. There's a greater risk in working with her and less reason to take her at her word. A fair point. And knowing Zorojah, we must assume that his arrangement with Sphene was not made without some consideration. All I know is it would be heartening to have allies in this strange realm. I think everyone would agree that any help we can get would be welcome. Hold on, there's no guarantee that it's actually my mother behind the machine. Without seeing her in the flesh, we can't rule out the possibility of a ploy. If it turns out to be a trap, we endanger not only ourselves but everyone in Tuliolo. As you say, we have no proof that it really is Kathquia, but I make my proposal in full awareness of this. Whether we're going to war or striving for peace, we need to learn as much as we can. Otherwise we can't hope to do anything meaningful. As it stands, we know too little about this realm. We need to remedy that. We need to study the enemy, and when the time comes, strike down Zorojah for good and all. What's more, I trust you, Erenville. You've always had great instincts, honed from your time training under your mother. What if I'm wrong? What if my sentiment is clouding her judgment? I trust you as well! That's always the way of it with you. Fine, if you're set on this, I'll say no more. Then it's settled. Let's head inside and secure ourselves some new allies. That idea of having so many souls that it corrupts your body and turns you into a half monster, that sounds great. They should make a raid series about it. I am going to figure out how I'm going to integrate the level 100 raid series into this. I might do a series of small streams, one for each, or I might not. We'll have to see what happens when I get to the end game. Kathquia, there's something I need to tell you and your people. We came here for no other reason than to strike down Zorojal. But I thought he was your brother. Do you really mean to kill your own kin? My kin invaded our nation and murdered our people. As vows were resolved, it falls to me to bring him to account. I'm prepared to do what I must, and I won't hesitate when the time comes. Like us, you and yours oppose Zorojal. In light of this, I propose that we work together to stop him once and for all. I've realized this is sudden, that it's a gamble to trust someone you've only just met. But I would trust in the conviction of anyone who shares my goal. So fight with me, I beg you. As you say, our goals align, and I don't doubt your resolve in the least. If you hadn't proposed working together, I would have done so instead. Truth be told, it's been tough going at it alone. While we've gathered ample intelligence, we just don't have the strength to take decisive action. Besides, how could we not trust you? My only son is with you, my fussy little Banban. He's all the reason I need. Then, it's decided he's to a fruitful collaboration. Thank you, Kathquia. Everyone, together we'll achieve great things, I'm sure of it. Then let's not waste any time. We've been wondering about Zorojal's whereabouts. Is there a place inside that tower? After a fashion, the king resides on the uppermost level, but while the queen's fiend has a penchant for going out in public, he seldom shows himself. What's more, his movements are highly classified. Not even his commanders are given privy to that information. If anyone knows where he is at any given time, it could only be the queen. Even if we don't know his whereabouts, Zorojal will eventually march on Tuliolo again. That's when we can go after him. The drawback is we'd have to wait for the invasion to happen. Innocents would be put in harm's way. There's also the possibility that he'll leave everything to his minions and not command the army in person. No, he'll take the field. What makes you so certain? My brother has always yearned to surpass our father. That's why he attacked Tuliolo. After waiting for 30 years, the first thing he wanted to do was demonstrate his newfound strength. But killing Papa didn't satisfy him, so now he's bent on proving himself stronger than me and Koana, who bested him in the right of succession. He challenged me to strike him down. He wants a duel to show everyone that he's superior to the Dawn Servant, and he won't let his minions deprive him of the pleasure. Then why hasn't he appeared and given you the chance? Surely he's aware of our presence here. At that, I can only guess. Maybe he wants to dazzle us with his wondrous realm, but if he won't deign to appear, then we'll force him to do so. Even as we gather intelligence, we make no move to attack him. Show absolutely no interest in a confrontation. Knowing him, he'll tire of waiting and turn his attention to Koana instead. He'll attack Tuliolo again, like he said he would. I see. If you believe this is the best approach, then we have no objections. Any campaign against Tuliolo requires that Zorojal lead his forces through Vanguard. We'll have lookouts keep an eye on it day and night. Such a strategy is certainly viable. If we're proceeding with it, though, we should warn those outside. Indeed, they'll need time to prepare their defenses. I should be glad to coordinate our efforts. I'm already in regular contact with Ishtola, and will make sure to keep our comrades apprised of developments. You can leave Vanguard to us. We'll send word at the first sign of movement. It seems we have a plan. While we wait for Zorolja to move, you'll do well to prepare for battle, and it begins with familiarizing yourselves with the technology that empowers him. To that end, I'll show you to Oblivion's main headquarters. Oh, I thought this place was it. You'll be impressed to know that we're located right inside that tower in the residential district of Solution 9. Hiding a tree in the forest, as it were. The only question is how to get you through the checkpoint. About that, Sphene said that she'd make it so we could enter without issue. She did? Curious, she's not supposed to have such authority over the sentries. If I recall correctly, her words were that she would register us as guests. I see, perhaps we're in the clear then. Whenever you're ready, come and meet me at the tower entrance. Before you head out, give us a moment to introduce ourselves properly, eh? After all, names are good to know when working together. If this isn't their main headquarters, I can't imagine what the actual place is like. The intelligence that Kathquia and her people possess will be very useful to our efforts. Between making new friends and entering the tower, I can't help but feel a little excited. Is it just me, or are Enveronville and Kathquia complete opposites in personality? In theory, hearing my mother's voice come from that peculiar machine. Don't talk about me that way. If Kathquia trusts you, then so do we. Nice to meet you. While Oblivion has operatives all over, we're the main crew here. I'm Geo, the leader of this hideout. And the dependable young twins behind me are Nostalgia and Wayokwe. I'm Nostalgia, it's a pleasure to meet you. My sister and I were born and raised inside the barrier. We've been with Oblivion for 3 years. Our main duties are surveillance and provisioning. Twins, eh? That explains the resemblance. Wayakwe is a Tonawatan name, unless I'm mistaken. That's right. Our mother is Tuliolan, our father is Alexandrian. They wanted to honor both our cultures. They're beautiful names. Thank you, though I have no memories of my mother. I like to think I carry a part of her with me. So, what made you decide to join Oblivion? We wanted to avenge our father. Ambrose was his name, and years ago, he was taken away after a scuffle with a soldier over a disagreement. It was a minor incident, so at first we clung to the hope he'd been released. But when we learned months went by with no word from or about him, we made the decision to remove our regulators. We had already lost the memories of our mother. We didn't want to lose those of our father as well. They've all forgotten about him now, everyone who had known him. That bastard! Even here he thinks nothing of his own people. Sometime later we were approached by a member of Oblivion. Hoping to get justice for our father, we joined the Order. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to darken the mood. No, I appreciate you sharing this. Together, we'll avenge your father. Thank you. Something tells me you have what it takes. You introduce yourself too. Go on. It's pretty much the same story for me. And while mine is a Tonawatan name, I haven't the faintest how things are outside the barrier. It's my dream to go and see it with my own eyes, our mother's homeland. Once peace is restored, you must come and visit. The wilds are beautiful, the food delicious, and everyone's so nice. You'll love it. And that's us here. You'll meet others in the back room. That's our headquarters. Some of them are a little eccentric, but they have good hearts all. Ellen Speer. One last thing. It isn't exactly my place to say this, but thank you for seeking out Kakuya. She talks about you so much, it's clear how important you are to her. That's all. Be good to your mother while you still can, eh? Well, we'll let you go now. Feel free to use the cider as you like. Meanwhile, in Everkeep.
You've been consulting with Wuk Lamat. No matter. I do not know what you are scheming. But when your realm lay on the brink, you were powerless. You had no choice but to turn to me. Whatever sentiment you may feel for her, it is my power you require. Is it not?
Perhaps. And yet, knowing the love that Wuk Lamat bears for her people, how she regards them all as kin, I cannot help but wish to spare her the same pain I have suffered. What's more, her friends possess new knowledge. Were we to work together, we might find another path. I know you're loath to consider it, but is there no hope for peace with Tuliolo? What we've already done may be unforgivable, but it needn't continue. You needn't kill your brother and sister.
I slew my only flesh and blood. Yet you attempt to sway me with an appeal to family. The memory of my father's final moments still fills me with disappointment. Age came for him before I did. For long years, I sought to prove the miracle. And weak as he was, defeating him achieved nothing. To kill them is my only recourse. Wuk Lamat and Kona, who bested him as he was in his prime.
They are still your siblings, even if not by blood. That such bonds should mean so little to you.
I am bound to no one. Serve none save myself. I made that clear when first you spoke to me in the Golden City.
Yep, Sven was the voice on the other side.
Remember, I can easily kill your beloved family. If you would protect them, cast aside any foolish notions. Your wisdom and abilities are valuable insofar as our goals align. So think well before you act, Queen of Reason. Uklamat, if you are father's worthy successor, then you will find your way to me. But should you fall short, I will lay waste to Tuli Yolal.
What now?
Uklamat is eager to head to Everkeep. Right, Kathquia is waiting. Let's head to the tower. And we'll just go there the quick way. There's no need to walk. Oh, and they opened up some blue quests now too. I'll have to come back for those at some point. Umeno Unicult. Definitely not gold ship. Definitely. Ah, definitely not Unicult. Definitely not. Ah, there you are. If Queen XIV has registered you as guests, you should be able to march right in. And if she hasn't, then you may have a swarm of Zorja's minions to deal with. Nothing for it but to see if Sphene has betrayed us, eh? Thank you for your diligent service, friends. My companions and I would like to pass, if you'd be so kind. Outrunner guide unit identified. Registration number verified. 6 accompanying civilians identified. Verifying credentials. Credentials verified. Welcome guests of Queen XIV and 1 goob ahead. What a relief. There you have it. It seems the Queen was true to her word. Follow me, everyone. Solution 9 awaits. We are actually coming close to the end of the main story for this expansion. It really doesn't feel like it's been that long. And yet it has been that long.
Everkeep, a tower of electro piercing a perpetual shroud of storm clouds. Occupying the 9th level of this 12-tiered structure is a residential district called Solution 9. In so naming their home, what hopes did its founders harbor for it? And did it prove the answer they sought?
Zach Tural, Solution 9. Damn it, I should have saved this for the next episode. Yeah, the next stream. This would have been such a better way to open up a new stream. Ah well. It's my own fault.
Spectacular, isn't it? There There are more districts throughout the tower, including industrial ones, but Solution 9 is the largest.
Just being here makes my head spin.
Perfectly natural reaction. A city of shimmering electrobe, replete with strange technologies that cater to every conceivable need. We never dreamed of the life back home in Tuliolo. Now, while I go and explain the situation to those in the back room, why not take a moment to explore? I believe lived experiences are far more educational than dry explanations. And you want to know more about Sphene and Zoologist Dominion, do you not?
You had me at explore.
I had a feeling you'd be keen.
Just to confirm, while we have been allowed inside, are we also permitted to roam?
Absolutely. As Sphene's registered guest, you'll find you're exempt from the sentry scrutiny. The elevator to the uppermost level. I wouldn't go near that. But other areas should be fine provided you act like you belong.
All right then, we'll show ourselves around.
Yes. Familiarizing ourselves with the technology here will help us prepare for the battles to come.
Right, you're definitely not excited to check out new toys. Not at all.
Try not to enjoy yourselves too much, or you're liable to attract attention.
Once you've explored to your satisfaction, come to the entrance to True View in the eastern sector. The way from there is a little complicated, so I'll send someone to guide you.
Understood. We'll see you later.
I shall speak with the residents. Perhaps one of them will recognize the earring.
What's with this place? How can this all be the inside of a tower?
So, what aren't you telling me? Where are you?
That, I can't reveal yet. Precautions, you understand. Just know that I'm safe. But come, tell me about your adventurer friend. You seem to have a great deal of faith in her.
I've beaten up a couple of primals.
You must have been through a lot together.
You might say that. For instance, we found the entrance to the Golden City.
Wait, what? You did? Elnespir, why didn't you mention this sooner?
You want to explore together? It's not that I'm scared or anything. Everything is just so different from home is all.
Have you already forgotten the Dungeon 1 resolution you made to not fib about being scared of things? She's a country girl, it's a big city, we'll humor her. But not today. We'll do that next week. Until then guys, take care, I'll see you all around.